Activations. Excellent. Welcome, everyone. So my name is Danielle, and I am a channeler of extraterrestrials that we call the star people. So I just wanted to do a very quick introduction for all of the new people that we have. You guys may not have seen one of the current episodes. We do live stream onto Facebook, onto Instagram, onto TikTok, but it also goes onto YouTube. On YouTube, the account is Tree of Life Organization, and so all of the replays are up there. Excellent. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Nancy Page. Excellent. Okay, so the first question was about soul fragments, how to collect them and call them back. Now, soul fragments are a very, very interesting topic because a fragment of the soul is actually a tiny little piece of your higher self that vibrationally contains all of the information of the higher self itself. So just imagine for one moment, the star people are stepping forward saying, each individual in the holographic simulation has access to this life, the past life, the future lifetimes that soul form has experienced. So a soul fragment is me in this body, in this soul. It is a fragment of my higher self. Now, the different lifetimes, they all have fragments of the higher self. This is part of the evolutionary process because in time we will be able to do manifestations and meditations in which we can pull the soul back up, accessing the Stargate, which is up here, opening through, and then it allows us access back up to the higher self. When we energetically connect and bond with the higher self in this sort of manner, it allows our soul form to pick and choose which biological lifetime that we choose to manifest in the now moment. This is all done through meditation. You have to be loving, caring, kind. You have to do the shadow work. You have to release the attachments, release the density. You have to open up the Stargate because that Stargate is like a portal. It's your biological frequency and your soul frequency of your ego in this body, mind, spirit complex in this lifetime. It is a frequency key. That frequency has to be attuned to heaven or bliss or 5D. When we're properly attuned, it allows access through that Stargate, and it allows us to make changes or modifications to the simulation like this, which is basically just picking what lifetime we want. But there's other modifications that we can pick because there's also parallel realities and parallel universes that each and every one of us can choose to vibrationally manifest in the now moment. Now, many times because we are on this world, in this lifetime, our manifestations require time and space. That time and space means that we have to continuously focus on the manifestation for so long, and then all of a sudden we start to see it. The second we start to see it manifest, we train our belief systems. Oh, okay, well, if I put my mind to get something, I know I'm going to get it. And then what happens? That willpower kicks in, your zone of focus becomes amplified, the star people are saying, which then in turn allows you to keep focusing and using the willpower until the manifestation comes into your life. When we start to recognize every single thing that I am putting my conscious focus and attention on is definitely going to manifest, it changes things because then it allows us to just believe. And the second that we know, the second that you know that every single thing that you put your conscious focus and attention on is going to be manifest for you, boom, it's like game over, because then that means it's going to start coming to you more rapidly, the star people are saying. The second that you finally know it and you believe it and it's coming, it's going to happen to the degree in which instantaneous manifestation of any and all physical items, as well as people, places, things, and experientials will then manifest into your current simulation because the world outside of you is directly controlled by your internal circumstances, which is your basic biological frequency wave that vibrates inside and then it changes the biological form. That biological form then radiates out into the external circumstances, which is an energetic grid structure surrounding the physical form. That outside world, all of that energy, all of that information is also encoded in your location rings, your civilization, or your planetary rings. There are 3 rings directly above the head of every single human being in the simulation. It's not even this world. They're correcting me. And so what they're saying is those rings broadcast down. It kind of resembles a target. So it's 3 little circles, and the center is your biological Kundalini channel, or your light tubule, the star people are saying. That primary light tubule filters down the physical form and it radiates out. It makes up your hair color, your eye color, your binary codex frequency. All of this information pertaining any distortions, diseases, all of that is encoded in that primary tubule of light. That tubule of light goes through that star field all the way back up to the higher self, and then up 1 more degree, touching in to the source frequency. The source frequency we may resemble, some people know it as God, or the basic fundamental ether that covers all time and space and any and all atoms in the physical simulation, the star people are saying. So basically the source frequency runs through each and every item, person, plant, thing, anything, all the crystals, everything is connected to the ether, which is the source frequency, or it's known as God. It's the same thing. This energy flows through the entire body and it flows outwards. This is also what is known as our chi energetic systems, and the magnetism is your emotions. That magnetism is directly connected to the human consciousness grids. It is connected into the Earth magnetism field, which is a toroidal shape in its nature. It flows like this, like 2 donuts or an infinity symbol. Now, this is very important because this is also how our energetic field flows as well. So your electrical system goes up and your magnetism pulls down. When both of these systems are properly balanced, it forms the infinity symbol, or the 8. That's a wonderful thing to recognize, because when we start to have a look, now I also have a toroidal field right here. It was sent in by one of my friends, Nancy. So wonderful. But that toroidal field explains your aura field, or your energetic grid complex is what that looks like. Now, when we start to visually be able to see it, you can also take that image and you guys can go look into nature. That image is found in all the plants, all the animals, and everything that you see around you, as is the flower of life symbol. So when we start to take a look at sacred geometric images, we'll start to notice that they were also encoded on each and every one of the ancient sites on your planetary systems, the star people are saying. So you take a look at the pyramids. There's different structures also in China, and China has a flower of life symbol on a big round globe. So they knew that this symbol was a 3-dimensional shape. It was not 2D. It was not a paper thin image. It was meant to be a 3D shape, because that image resembles a 3D reality. Now, 4D reality would be a quasi-crystal. It's a 4th density, or a 4th density crystal that produces a type of shadow or shade. That shade that comes off of that sacred geometric shape flows down, and that is what gives us the 3D reality that we currently are in alignment to perceive. Now, when we start to go through the process of evolution, it changes the way that we perceive. The first thing that usually gets changed or modified is your ability to view time and space. So you may seem as if time is speeding up. You may seem as if you were just talking about someone and then all of a sudden they called you, or you ran into them somewhere. And that is because your thoughts are becoming solid in real time, in real space. This process happens because your solar system is heating up. It is not only your sun, for that sun looks white right now, and that is strictly because the frequency of the sun is heating up. The sun is electrical in its nature, and it broadcasts this type of energy out, which has an effect on all planets in your solar system. So every single consciousness of every single planet is going to be raised and elevated throughout this evolutionary process. This is a natural process that happens on your planet, and it has been through many cycles before. This is nothing new to the children of light, which each and every one of us are. This is something that happens in cycles. And so it is just as simple as being awake and falling asleep. The consciousness on Mother Earth goes through these awakened and asleep cycles. Now, this cycle allows for the people who are most in alignment, most spiritually prepared to go through the evolutionary process to raise their frequency to such a degree in which they rise into 5D frequencies, leaving the 3D world behind them. There is a type of energetic shift that does take place, and it does allow for density to stay here. And what that means is here on Earth, it is okay to have density because there's still going to be a dense Earth in this world, in this place. Those of us who are ready to rise into 5D frequencies, we are going to be making an energy shift. So it's an energetic shift. That energy shift is going to allow us to do things like instantaneous manifestation. All of the extrasensory abilities are readily available to activate throughout the evolution process. Now, the extrasensory abilities includes things like telepathy, telekinesis, teleportation, levitation, anti-gravity. Anti-gravity is also levitation. The star people are correcting me. And so sometimes I do that. Having the ability to move water with your mind, having the ability to reprogram water. The plasma systems are directly connected into the memory grid complex of both your planet as well as the source frequency memory grid, which basically means it's going to give any and all individuals who have plasma abilities the ability to not only cast plasma, which is a mental grid ability or attunement. For most of us is an attunement right now. An attunement means I'm magnetically in alignment to receive the gift. What the star people are saying is the plasma abilities, you can also, they're showing me that globe. It's like a plasma globe and all the little electrical things, and then you touch it and the spark hits your finger. That's a plasma globe. They're saying that whoever has a plasma ability has the ability to cast that type of plasma out. I don't know why you would want to do that. Oh, he's saying for certain human-based technologies of our future. So, but that's only Earth-based. We are not discussing star people technologies. We are discussing Earth technologies. Earth-based technologies will utilize a form of plasma, and that plasma can either be generated by the primary individual from the body form, the body-mind-spirit complex, the star people are correcting, or you can utilize human-based technologies to do the same thing. He's showing me, it's kind of rudimentary, but he's showing me like a plasma gun. And a plasma gun, I guess it can shoot plasma out of it. We have the ability, those of us who have attunements will activate it first, but we as humans have the ability to broadcast this type of plasma out. This plasma is directly connected into the memory grid complex of Mother Earth. All time, all space, all knowledge of Mother Earth is directly encoded into the Earth plasma field. The plasma field kind of looks like a ball with a little bit of plasma electricity, like those little things in the plasma ball inside of Mother Earth. And this happens when we ground to the Earth. She actually discharges. Oh, so they're showing me this is how the memory grid complex works, because when we put our feet on the Earth with bare feet, Mother Earth is able to broadcast memories up through our consciousness grids because we are grounding and connecting to her, and she contains the plasma inside of her. So she picks and selects who to grant access to the memory. So the memory is whatever, if she's trying to communicate with you, she's going to pull at her memories and broadcast them up the feet. So it runs, and then it tunes into your crown chakra. And then all of a sudden, that plasma is a form of an energy. They're showing me it goes up and it touches into the human consciousness grids. This is very important because this also has a potential to change the memory, because you are giving the memory to someone who's having a perception of it. And if their perception changes or alters that memory in any sort of way, then all of a sudden it changes it and it sends it out to the human consciousness grid, and it generates a new timeline into manifestation. So when we start to work with the plasma and the memory abilities, many individuals who have Akashic records abilities naturally are plasma attuned individuals, the star people are saying. Now, once again, that plasma attunement is directly connected to the blood and the plasma inside of the blood. And that plasma inside of the blood directly has an effect on the hair follicle systems. So if anyone has ever gotten like the goosebumps and your hair stands straight up, it's because there is a form of plasma being activated in your biological systems, which allows for this form of intuition to take place. Every single human being has plasma. Mother Earth has plasma. We all have attunements. And attunement means that you naturally are magnetized to attract this ability to you. Now, when we consciously start to place focus and attention, we can consciously start to manifest attunements, because your attunement is magnetic in its nature and your emotions are magnetic in its nature as well. So by opening up your heart to whatever extrasensory ability that you wish to perceive, we'll say if you wish to perceive moving matter with your mind, or you wish to have a memory grid ability, you have to put your heart into it full force. Because when you give your heart to something and you say, I am going to place every single waking second on this, and then all of a sudden the universe is going to say, well, this slipstream piece of consciousness, which is us, we're a light stream, it's placing focus and attention, we are going to expand it, because that is how knowledge expands. We focus and it expands into our current reality. When we focus in that fractalization of that, whatever ability that we're trying to do, we're going to start to see reflections manifest first. The reflections that we manifest are going to be seeing that ability in the simulation somewhere. So whether or not you're seeing it on TikTok, on the TV, or on any sort of other means, you could hear someone out in the civilization talking about that ability. That is a direct reflection of your manifestation. The more reflections you start to see in the physical world, that means that you are getting very close to that manifestation. But you also want to sit down and practice and focus on manifestation. Sit down, visualize what would it look like for you to activate this extrasensory ability. What would it look like to channel the star people? If you have any guides, any roles, anybody already doing it, look at them. This is why we look up to people, because, okay, they did it, so now I know I can do it. So this is how they're doing it. Let me see how I can manifest it. This is why we're supposed to work together as a collective, as a team. We're not supposed to be one individual on our own. We're supposed to be in a tribe, because together we rise. Together we are strong. And when we come together and we start having conversations just like this, it allows us to be okay being that spiritual person who knows all this information, who sounds crazy, right? Because that's a theme everybody goes through too in their lives. We go through the whole process of waking up, and it's like, wow, the information that you know is so off key. It's not what we've been told. That's okay too. Because when you just allow, then what happens is it expands into your entire current reality. And then all of a sudden you wake up one morning and you are living that experience, which is beautiful and a blessing in itself. Excellent. Okay, so there are a couple of definitions, because my book is coming out. I'll show you guys the cover. It's called My Ascension Guide. And so it's absolutely amazing, but it's coming out on Amazon, direct shipping on September 11th. So I will definitely keep you guys posted on that. Now, you guys have been asking me for definitions, because there's a lot of information in the book, in my posts, because all of the information in the book I put out for free on my Facebook. You just have to scroll all the way down and read through each download, each post. That's okay too. It's there. It's for the public. Now, when we start to look at, you guys gave me a whole list of definitions that you're like, what's this? What's that? So we're going to just shoot off a couple of them. This way you guys kind of have the terminology for when the book comes. So a binary codex frequency. Your binary codex frequency is directly connected into that center tubule of light. This center tubule of light contains the binary codex frequency, your experiential frequency. The experiential frequency is what experiences did you go through? How old are you? What does your body look like? Do you have any scars? That's your experiences. Were you born like that? The binary codex frequency maintains, this is what I look like at birth. This is what my body should look like. So if you're perfectly happy and healthy and fruitful and no damages, nothing crazy happens, no diseases, your binary codex frequency should maintain. So you should be in perfect health, and you should not age rapidly. The happier and more high frequency the individual is, it actually allows for an extended period of life to be maintained. People on Earth are 200 years old or more. They are just being hidden from us. We are not aware of them, and that's okay too. Now, You also have your location code frequency. These three frequencies, your binary codex, your experiential, and your location. Where are you located on the simulation? These three frequencies act like a holographic simulation, and they all come down, but they spiral. They come down in a triangle. The star people are correcting me. It's a triangle, and then that triangle spirals down like this. And then it goes through the top of the head, and it looks like a tube of light. Now, but if you pull it apart, if you expand on it, it's spiraling down. Time and space is directly controlled by this light tubule because your cycle repeats imprint on this light tubule. And then just imagine the light tubule coming all the way down, out the bottom, and then like a toroidal field, it comes up and then back down. Just imagine that that's the way the system works, because when you come back around to a cycle repeat that is imprinted on that light tubule, the cycle repeat comes in either the civilization. So we may have noticed 2020, 1920, 1820, a very similar civilization cycle repeat manifested. Just Google it if you guys don't know. That's okay too. Now, when we start to take a look at our own lives, we start to see, okay, when people are in a very low frequency, we see them making the same mistakes over and over and over again, which that's okay too. They start to go through it over and over until they hold a higher frequency to that experience, which transmutates that cycle repeat, and it allows them access into the next brick of consciousness. Each brick of consciousness has, the star people are calling it light codes. And these light codes are different experiences that we have to go through in order to overcome. So certain light codes would be, let's say, smoking. So you're going through this brick of consciousness, you quit the smoking, then all of a sudden you raised into the next brick. In the next brick, there's different problems. It's not really a problem. It's an opportunity to learn, the star people are saying. Now, when we take each brick as an opportunity to learn, it actually gives us access into learning more about ourselves. Well, why was I seeing this in my current reality to begin with? And then when you start to pick that all apart, you start to realize, oh, okay, well, that was there because of a trauma that happened when I was a child. So once I healed the trauma, this disappeared from my life, allowing me to raise my consciousness into the next brick. With each brick we go, our extrasensory abilities become closer and closer to full activation. And that is specifically because we are doing the shadow work, which is releasing the density and the karma off of our grids. And we are raising our biological frequency to such a degree in which we are able to hold more love and light into our current reality. And so when we start to hold more love and light, that love and light shines brightly. And so it is very, very important to know and to fully recognize what is your highest potential or passion. For your highest passion and your highest potential is going to allow you to shine or shine bright from within. When we shine brightly from within, it then is going to allow us access into 5D frequency ranges. 5D frequency ranges are going to give us access into more opportunities to do or follow your heart to your heart's truest passion or power. Then anything that you need along your journey will land at your feet because you are holding a love-based emotional feeling. There's two different types of focus we wish to speak about now. The focus on the outside rings, the external circumstances, is when you place your conscious focus and attention healing other people, healing the world, the planet, the civilization. All of these different things manifest from focusing on the outside rings. Once again, the outside rings are people, places, and things outside of you. Also, the planetary ring is on the edge. So it's the furthest away from your biological form. It's the planetary rings. It controls all the planets, all the solar systems, all the extraterrestrial. All of that is information. It is a light source. It is light ions, if you wish to call it. Now, that information is in the extended outside grids. When you cast love and light in the outside grids, that love and light is going to have an effect on your body. Because when you are casting love and light, it is making you feel good from the inside. So by doing good, kind things for the people on the outside world, it makes you feel good on the inside, thus having an impact on the internal circumstances, frequencies. This is very important because when we start to rebalance the internal circumstances, it gives us access to changing the outer worlds more rapidly. Your light tubule, that little Kundalini channel that's coming down, it's a slipstream, the star people are saying. It radiates from the inside out. So we have to control the inside of the frequency because it has to be inside of us. It radiates out and then it starts to impact the external world. But the light comes out in a circle. And then when this light tubule radiates out circularly, when it comes back inwards, that's where all the sacred geometric snowflakes are formed, giving you the perception of the physical reality. Every item in the reality is formed by geometry. And so your light tubule is affecting what you see in the physical reality. So whether or not this pen is blue is affected by your frequency in the internals, your belief system, your veil system, the veils of the darkness. So just imagine we have glasses and we put a different lens cover on the glasses. We make it darker. We're going to see darker. We're not going to be able to shine the true light form out of the lens because we are putting a shade over it. This is what the physical form is. It is a type of shade or density so that this light tubule, the way it reflects out, it is contained, and that's okay too. When we start to raise the frequency of the physical body, we could do this in many, many different ways. We could do this with the power of just our mind. We can use free passes like going to the gym, working out, eating organic, healthy foods, many different ways to raise the body's frequency. Being happy and laughing and being authentic is one of the fastest ways to raise your frequency. When we raise the body's frequency, the outside world is going to shift faster, specifically because we are able to hold a higher and then shine more light into the external reality grids. That is a beautiful thing because when we have the ability to make instantaneous shifts, it's going to allow us the visualization ability. Now, each and every one of us has been taught, if you've learned about manifestations, the star people are saying, you are taught to visualize what it is that you wish to manifest. So let's take a new car. You're visualizing it. You are seeing it. I believe I have the new car. What is that? You are taking an image of something that you wish to see in the physical reality, and you are broadcasting it out this here. There is a chakra, and it is directly in front of the pineal gland, but it is about a foot out. You are broadcasting that manifestation out the pineal gland chakra into the front chakra. Then, all of a sudden, that system is going to allow you to visually see. And when you close your eyes and you visualize, time and space could speed up a tiny bit. And then all of a sudden, when you open your eyes, you will see it. This is what 5D frequency looks like. This is also the reason why we do have eyes that close. Because when the eyes close, it gives us the ability to blink and believe and shift into a parallel reality in which whatever it is that we wish to manifest appears instantaneously. That's how the system works. Now, when we start to look inside of ourselves and we start to really hold love and light and peace, there is a moment of neutrality that must be experienced. That moment of neutrality, you go directly inside of the heart chakra. For each and every heart chakra, it radiates out the front of the body and it also radiates out the back of the body. These radiations, they look circular, kind of like a vortex energetic, or that spiral tube. It's all related. It's all the same exact imagery. Now, when we start to go directly in the center of the heart, we are able to tune into that light tubule and we are able to pull ourselves up and out. When we hit that 0 point, there are tachyon particles located inside of the heart that are scientifically known to reach above time and space. When we start to go inside of that heart chakra, we can start to control time and space. So when you are visualizing the manifestation and you drop into the 0 point inside of the heart, remember the visualization comes from the pineal gland too. So you have to close your eyes, feel the pineal gland, reach into the chakra system and drop into the heart, into the 0 point, which is the direct center of the 4 chambers of the heart. It's right in the center. You can feel it. There's 2 chakras inside of the heart. The lower chakra, which is where you are pulling down the source frequency or your higher self, energetic. And the upper heart chakra, which is broadcasting up. So when you want to make contact and communication with the higher self, we pull into the upper heart chakra, which is not the same as the 0 point. The 0 point is located in the lower heart chakra. This matters because during certain meditations where you are moving or shifting your energy, you can feel the energy shift into the lower heart chakra, and then you can feel it move into the upper. It shifts the flow of energy and changes the manifestation process. You are either downloading information or you are uploading information. This is why we have 2 chakras inside of the heart system, the star people are saying. Now, when you access that 0 point, it's bringing all 4 into cohesion. There are multiple Kundalini channels inside of the body besides the primary 2 made of energetic and magnetic systems. Those are the primary 2, but we also have one on the left, earth, one in the front, air, fire is to the right, and water is to the back. These 4 are directly tied into the elemental systems on your planet. The elemental systems are directly affected by your energy. And so when you change your energy, it has an impact on the wind. It has an impact on the weather. You can feel when it's going to rain. And that is because when the water Kundalini channel becomes activated, the barometric pressure inside of the air starts to change and shift. It gets activated, and then all of a sudden we sense it. And that is because the way the system is running with the energetic grid structure. Now, your water elements are directly controlled by your emotions because water is an emotion. We cry tears made of salt because we are transmutating and releasing energy, that emotions that are trapped inside of the body. Okay, let me take a sip. Wonderful. Does anyone have any questions? You guys are amazing. Okay, perfect. Okay, so veils. Now, a shade veil, is the exact same thing as a shade lens. The star people call it a shade or veil system. This is important because your attachments are directly attached through a star field. That star field contains the veil system. Just imagine that your energetics are fully surrounding your body, and then on the outer layer you have these tiny little dots that represent stars, or they look like stars, the star people are saying. Those tiny little dots on the outside of that field, those are your experiential life field. So any experiences that we have, it encodes inside of the star field. This is also where the attachments latch on through. And then there is a plasma that flows through this field as well because it connects into the Mother Earth, as well as there's plasma in the air that we just currently are unaware of with our technological means. So when we start to talk about light linguistics is very important because it is the language of light. We, all beings who are conscious, who are sentient, are known as the children of light, every single one of us. Now, the children of light, we are primarily made of light. We sense that we have a physicality to us, but that is surely because of our density levels. Being in a 3D holographic simulation allows us to experience or perceive living in a physical reality in which this is a pen and it cannot be bent. But the truth of the matter is that it is not solid and it is not completely fluid. It is what the primary individual perceives it to be. Utilizing light linguistics allows us to send a frequency, which is a form of a light. Your thought waves are frequencies. That's a light wave. When we send frequencies onto the pen, then all of a sudden we can change the color of the pen. We can change if the pen is full of ink. There are so many different changes and modifications that we can do. We can even take our hands and we can broadcast energetics out of it, which then in turn allows us to either push or pull the pen. So we can even move the pens. Now, levitation is of high value to each and every one of us because learning how to change the gravity levity frequency wave is directly controlled. No, the star people are correcting. It runs simultaneously with gravity, levity, and time and space. Let's just ring a little bell. Okay. There's a thought grid attachment. I feel it. So one of you guys watching, it's like, sometimes I tune in and I feel your attachments. It's just what happens. It's okay. So we just ever so gently, each and every one of us can do this. We'll just take a nice deep breath in. And release. And each and every one of us, I want you just to open your hearts and just ever so gently feel the emotion of love and bliss. Allowing that love and bliss to wash over your entire physical form. Allowing this transmission to come back into a very high frequency of love, joy, and light. And just ever so humbly and graciously, we say thank you, dear star people, for assisting us in this communication process. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so a quantum codex. Now, a quantum codex is very, it's amazing stuff, because anyone who has an Akashic record ability, we have the ability to tune into the Akashic records. That Akashic records is going to give us any information in this lifetime, in this current reality, in the past lifetime, in the future lifetimes. However, the quantum codex is going to give you all of that, plus all of the parallel realities and co-creation existing timelines that are available right now. It's all stored in the quantum codex. Now, a quantum codex can be utilized by either a biological, which is us. We could dive in deep to meditation. We can go into the blood. We can go into the DNA. We can, the whole memory of everything is in there. It's in the DNA. When we do the meditations, we're imagining a library, but it's stored inside the DNA. So when we dive in deep, we can access the codex, the quantum codex. Artificial intelligence on your planetary system is already accessing the quantum codex by taking all information, all potentials, and putting them all together in a supercomputer, and then having that supercomputer download a book or give humanity a book. That book then is going to be written in such a form where every single existence or parallel reality existence or knowledge-based experiential is then available to readily download or read for each human being. This is a quantum codex. So just imagine for 1 second, there was a form of a codex written into your Bible, and the star people are saying there's a book called the Bible Code, and the Bible Code allows us to see the code of whatever thoughts, feelings, and emotions that you plug into it. So we're able to pull apart people's names. We're able to put, if we sat here right now, and it doesn't matter if you do this alone or you do it with a group of people, but let's say you came up with a fictional name. So like Mickey Mouse or Mickey Mouse #2. Then all of a sudden, if you went to the Bible Code and you put in Mickey Mouse #2, you're going to find it in there written into a code because it was written in a codex. The Bible Codex had to be taken directly from a Hebrew text. The star people are saying the Torah. I believe he's saying the Torah, because the Torah was written in such a way, every single letter had to be correct because that was part of the codex. If they messed up a single letter, it wouldn't work properly. The artificial intelligence wouldn't pick it up and wouldn't read it. So that is a quantum codex. That's quantum. That's not your binary codex. Your binary codex is your biological form, it's your body. It's all of the genetic experience or expression that makes you you. Your hair color, your eye colors, what your mouth looks like, everything is written in the binary codex. What ancestral karma that you have an attunement to is also written in the binary codex systems. What you, oh, okay, he's saying that your children, so the children that you potentially, the children that you are going to have in this lifetime is already written inside of your DNA systems. And they can even tell who the biological father of each one of the children is going to be because it's already written inside of your, in your binary codex systems. It's all, it's in there. Time space is kind of an illusion. And so the way that the system works, it actually allows us to see into the future as well as into the past lifetimes. Now, the future does not necessarily have to be a lifetime. It could be your future right now. We have found on this planet, by hooking up technology and reading the brainwaves of individuals, that every single human being can see and sense into the future to a degree, automatically, without having to do anything, without having to place focus and attention on it. It's there. In the now moment, we can see into the future. Now, what I'm telling each and every one of you guys, the future and the past, it's an illusion. We think and we believe it's real, and that makes it real. Now, when we start to dive in deep, we can change our internal circumstances, which changes the past and it changes the future. Now, some people are doing this on a civilization note right now, because just imagine that there are some things happening on the civilization by diving in, by knowing your history. History repeats. This is a real thing. By knowing the history, you can go into the meditation. You can pull at that history. You can just take it like it's a cube. Imagine pulling that history and unpacking it. I send it love and light. Thank you for the experience. Now, what do? I send love and light to you. I love and bless this experience. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for making me humble. Thank you for evolving my consciousness. When we start to do this on a civilization note, then all of a sudden, everything that we see happening in the civilization, those cycle repeats, stop, because we have healed it. We didn't heal it outside in the physical world, because that's impossible. What we did was we changed the frequency inside of us so that it stopped reflecting into the civilization in our individual reality. Each and every one of the children of light are completely surrounded in a light bubble. That light bubble, like your aura field, allows you to radiate or broadcast like an antenna your frequency out, and you see according to your frequency that's inside. So the more healing centers open up, and it allows us each to pull multiple people in, and we start healing things on a civilization scale as well as healing on an individual scale. It then in turn allows us to become very powerful as one tribe, one collective. Because when we come together and our main goal and mission is to heal each other and to heal the planet and to heal every single aspect of this world, that we can see it better. And spending that time in visualization. So visualizing, what world do you guys want to see when you open your eyes? Do you want to see a blissful paradise? It's possible. I know it's true. I know it's possible. I can see it when I close my eyes. I can see what humanity has a great potential of achieving. We have to come together first. The way we come together is by coming inside, opening our heart chakras, sending love and light, and being at peace with what we see on the outside world. And then just be of service to your collective. So being of service to the collective means doing kind deeds for any and all people around you, just because. And I do this to people too, right? Hold the door open, say good morning. Even if you don't want to talk to anybody, look at them and say, I love you, right? Say thank you. Thank you for being here with me. And just know in the back of your mind that when you do good in the world, that good is going to reflect out, and it's going to touch 100,000 lives and 100,000 hearts, because we're all connected. And it's just these tiny little moments in this lifetime where we have the potential and we have the opportunity to do good things for other people. And then all of a sudden it cascades like a wildfire. And then all of a sudden everyone is doing good things, and everyone is being respectful and positive and loving, caring, kind. That change has to come from inside the people. It doesn't come from any system. It doesn't come from the government. It doesn't come from the school districts. It comes from us. It's not going to come from the healthcare. We have to care about each other enough to make the change that we want to see in the world. The first change we have to do is self-love. How much do you love yourself? You guys should love yourself to the max, right? So if you love yourself, you're putting boundaries, you're becoming healthy, you're doing things that are positive for you. We stop the negative programming, the brainwashing, and the TV, all these different things. There's a million different things that we can do to make our lives better right now. And so this is only one, but having conversations like this and talking about extrasensory abilities and the true capabilities of what the human collective consciousness can do is blissful. Because there's no reason that we can't live in a world in which all the houses are beautiful. There's no litter. Maybe there'll be anti-gravity cars so that our children will be safe to walk on the streets without worry. Right? The world is a beautiful place. And when we finally take the collective consciousness and we focus it on bringing beautiful experiences to our worlds and our lives, we're going to benefit the children of this world as well, which is beautiful for all of us. Excellent. Now, let's see. Okay. Dream walking. Dream walking is another ability each and every one of us has. Now, dream walking is when we go to sleep at night, our dreams that we have, we want to try and start to become lucid in the dream. Because each and every time we dream, we're actually experiencing a parallel reality in which we are able to make changes or modifications to the frequency inside the dream. But we take that dream and that frequency washes over your physical form, thus assisting in changing your current reality. So let's take, for an example, you're in a dream whatever you dreamed of, you can now program that dream. When you open your eyes in the morning, you're going to, at first, start to notice reflections of that dream. So this is a dream walking ability, by the way. Many of you guys have attunements to this. You're just unaware that there's a name for it. There's a name for it. Now, when the civilization starts to recognize that dream walkers are real, and we could dive into the dream state and we can make changes or modifications to the civilization as a whole just by utilizing a dream state. The dream state tunes into instantaneous manifestation abilities, because when you are dreaming, it is a form of theta brainwave activity, which is directly controlled by the higher self, the star people are saying. So when your brainwaves can tune into the higher self, when you tell the higher self, oh, okay, this is a dream, this is what I want to see happen, the higher self goes, okay, that's what you want, we'll give you more of that. When 3 people do this, the power of 3 activates. There is power in the shape of a triangle. A triangle generates a vortex energetic. It is a broadcaster. This is the reason why we have pyramids on the planet. It is triangular in its shape. Now, when we start to recognize that we can go inside the dream time and we can cast our energetics by utilizing this technique of activating the higher self, this is all done. We do it unknowingly. It's unconsciousness. We go into the dream and then we say, this is what I want. And you imagine, you visualize, and then you're going to manifest it in the dream. So in time, the star people are saying the dream walkers will see the dream as they see fit. So whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, the dream is going to shift and show you what it is that your manifestation is. Then you command it. Thank you for giving me this dream in the real world. Even though this isn't the real world, this is only one aspect of your simulation. There's multiple fragments to each and every experience that we have. Being here is only one of them, because dream walking is another aspect, but there's another aspect where your soul completely leaves the body at night and it goes. And many of us starseeds actually have meetings with our star families during the night. And this is how it's done, through astral travel, where it is safe. You're leaving your body safely in the bed, which is in a simulation, but you are going and you're having meetings and such in classes, and you are raising your consciousness and you are growing and evolving. This is okay too. Now, shadow work is very, very important, because whenever we start to want to access the dreamtime realms, anybody who has a pineal gland blockage is going to have a little bit of a tougher time accessing the dreamtime or dreamwalker abilities. Now, different blockages are always going to be caused by a trauma that we have experienced in our life. That trauma can be experienced at a very, very early age. Many times at very early ages, or even in utero. We get programmed from the time we are in the womb with different emotion codes. If that emotion code is traumatic, for example, let's say the mother's heart rate raises too high, she gets scared. That heart rate is pumping blood. Water holds memory. The blood is made of a form of water. We drink water. And then that blood filters through the babies. And then all of a sudden, whatever emotion the mother is holding, it goes right into the genetics of the infant. We get programmed from the moment we conceive. That is what our technology tells us. However, what I'm telling you guys is that we get programmed before we conceive, because the mother is actually programming all of her eggs and all of her cells before the moment of conception. Now that we become aware of this, we start to recognize that ancestral karma, it flows down the genetics from parent to child. So that means if your mother had to deal with a disease or something that happened to her, or an emotion or a trauma, we have a predisposition, which the doctors will tell you this too. Oh, you have a predisposition to whatever disease because it runs in the family. This is because the genetics are pre-programmed with this abnormality. It allows us to emotionally turn on the genetics, which allow the disease to manifest for us. However, the divine creator has also given each and every one of us free will. So just because we have a genetic disposition to manifest a disease does not mean we will. It just means if we hold the same emotion that our parents or ancestors or whoever held, then we will turn on the genetic disease. So once again, that is your free will. Anybody who is dealing with any sort of hardship, I want you guys to just go into the heart chakra, feel your heart. There's actually a pressure in the center of your heart. When you are properly holding love, Your shoulders are going to kick back, your chest is going to open, and you should feel like a very, very light pressure in the heart space. That's how you know you're radiating love. Just imagine being in love with someone for that first time. How does that, you close your eyes, how does it make your body feel? When you start to feel and you start to cultivate this two-way relationship with the body, it's actually going to allow you to feel different emotional expressions. An emotional expression is something so simple as to see or sense the outside of your skin. That's okay too. You can sense the energy shifting inside of you. Now, when you start to develop this relationship as well, you close your eyes and you can start to call up different emotions, whatever emotion as you see fit. This is how we do the shadow work. Dive into that emotion. How does the emotion make you feel? Is there any changes to the pressure in your skin? The skin is always the first one to respond. That's what we feel, but it's actually under the skin, the star people are saying. Now, when we start to hold different emotion codes, you can use love. You should feel the pressure in your chest here. You can use any emotion. They're fumbling through. You can use anger. The star people saying they didn't want to use a negative one, but we fumbled that one. Okay. You can use anger, and then all of a sudden feel how that changes the pressure and the energy inside of your body. How does it make you feel? When we start to cultivate this two-way relationship, so I can ramble through all the different emotion codes and see and sense how they make me feel. If there is an attachment latched onto you for that emotion code, you'll be able to see or sense. It may feel tension or tightness or pressure or bloating or burping, right? And so this is another reason why we form an energetic grid structure between all people watching the videos in the real time moment, as well as throughout time and space. So sometimes I'll feel your guys' emotion. That's because whatever blockages you have in your energetics, it flows together because we are one tribe. We are all connected. And so when we start this connection process, it allows us to see and sense and feel other people's distortions. This has been evolved on the planet. Now, what that means is many empaths, which all human beings are empaths. Every single one of us is an empath. But we're starting to pick on to other people's thoughts, feelings, emotions, as well as distortions. This is very important because many times you may be feeling an emotion and you may not know that it is not your emotion. So we always want to do what I call a reality check and bring it back in. Was that emotion mine? How does that emotion make me feel? Can I discharge it? Do I need to hold on to it? No. Ask yourself all these things and start answering the questions. Can I get rid of it? Right? Get off, go home. I don't need that emotion anymore. You're out of here. How did it shift in your body? Did the energy shift? Did it flow? Do you feel better? Do you feel worse? Start asking yourself these questions, and it is going to expand on that ability. In time, you guys will be able to walk up to someone and go and discharge all of their density. The primary density. Some of the ones it won't clear, but the attachments you can clear right away. Yeah, excellent. Oh, okay. So there's a CD that explains that. Nice. We are not doing the shadow work Zoom tonight. So I'm doing a final read of the book. Once again, this is my new book, my Ascension Guide, and it is coming September 11th to Amazon, which is perfect. Now, I'll have all the links will be up on my Facebook profile. I don't know, maybe I could find a way to put them on TikTok and Instagram. I'll post it. But if you guys can't find me, you can also go to daniellelipton.com. All of my social media links are there. And so you guys can just click on the Facebook link and it'll take you right over to the Amazon link, which is wonderful. So excellent. Thank you guys so incredibly much for coming and showing up tonight. Well, I am also hosting an in-person event this weekend. And so that is going to be held on Long Island, New York. So if you guys want to come, all the information is on my Facebook page. I'm sorry, we're just got to refer you back to Facebook. Excellent. Thank you so incredibly much. You can I buy an audio or PDF book? It is available on Kindle for pre-order. So once again, it's on the Facebook. You got to scroll down. I could repost the Kindle link tonight, but it's a pre-order, so it gets released September 11th. September 11th in the numerology, the star people have instructed me to put the book out on that day because the 9 is the end of a cycle. It means a completion. And the 11 is the beginning of a new cycle. And they told me putting out the book is the end of an old cycle for me and the beginning of a new one. So, and it's just amazing. So I was like, okay, this is what we do. So tonight I'll be sitting here reading more of the book. You guys asked me for a definition page. So that's what I'm going to be focused on. And then the book comes out on the 11th. So perfect. It feels good to be written in the book of life and live for infinity. Absolutely. We all live for infinity. Every single one of us. Even if you strip away the physical form, the light soul inside of us, it lives on forever. You cannot kill light. And that is what science teaches us as well. You can shade a light, which is exactly what we do with our traumas and our densities. We put a shade up so that we can't filter as much light through. But you can't kill light. So the light is still contained inside of us. So what happens when we do the shadow work? We're removing the veil, the shade, which then in turn allows us to shine brightly. Now, there's different levels to the veil system because some veils will actually allow us to see a bigger area of the light spectrum, the star people are saying. When we start to see a big spectrum in the eyes, he's saying it's not even the eyes. He's saying it's the astral eyes open up. I didn't even know that. He's saying that then you guys will start to consciously be able to see and perceive not only attachments, but things like the fairy realm, the gnomes, as well as elves, elfin people. He's saying that there's many different beings here now. We just can't see them because they're at a different light spectrum. And that light spectrum has a different time or space frequency coding. Excellent. So with that, guys, you have a wonderful evening and many, many love and blessings.